Okay, so today we're talking about something a little bit different today. We're going to be talking about why I like techno music and why I like raves. If you don't know what techno music is, it's electronic music. Honestly, you can just search for it and figure out what it is. There's many different genres of techno. There's dubstep, there's EDM, there's house music, there's all kinds of different subgenres. It's just such an expansive genre of music that you can probably find what you like, even if you aren't in a certain techno subgenres. For me, I do like partying a bit. That's why I like going to the raves. It gets me out of my usual environment, and usually I go to raves alone. Now, this is raves in VR, not in real life. I have gone to Anthrocon and gone to a rave in real life, but we're talking about VR chat raves here. Obviously, I'm in VR chat, but I am a rave goer, and I love it. So we're going to get into that today. So a little bit of history. I listened to techno back when I was in high school. I used to listen to it whenever I was studying or whenever I was like, I've been making videos for a long time. All the videos are gone though. You'll never find them. But I used to imagine like, I wanted to be like a filmmaker at one point, and I would imagine like certain like action scenes or whatever by using the music that I had. It helped me be very creative, and it also helped me calm down in certain circumstances or focus. I used music to escape or to use it for creative purposes. However, I was always told like techno music was like this weird thing, like it was weird and not a lot of people listened to it. And if you listen to it, that you were weird. There was a lot of things that people told me that I believed. I really shouldn't have, because techno isn't a weird genre. It's just something that somebody enjoys. It may be very different from what other people expect or want to listen to, but it's not something that's weird. It's a form of expression. But let's be honest, I am a little weird. Everybody knows that. Because of that stigma, my interest in techno ended up fading for a while there, and I never really like got super deep into it. It was always just like the surface level, like, yeah, I kind of like this music, but I'm not going to talk about it that much, and I'm not going to do much research into it. However, once I got into the VR space, I started hearing about raves, and that there was like a huge rave culture in VR chat. So I started going to raves and starting to really see what's out there. And my first couple of experiences going to raves was revolutionary for me. It was just all the lights, the music, the different genres of techno, everybody's different style. It became a place where my old judgments of like, this is a weird thing, or people are going to look at me weird, or whatever if I listen to this, those were not present anymore. I could just be myself and listen to whatever I wanted to without judgment. Everybody was there just either chatting with each other or dancing up front. And what I do is I just turn voices all the way down and I just let the music take me away, especially if I'm like really into the music that's playing. Sometimes I get to the point to where I get into this kind of mindset where I kind of just let the music take me to different places in my head, I guess. In some ways, it's almost like being high, but not really. I've been high before, but it gets me close to that. It gets me close to a sense of euphoria. And raves take place in venues that can be anywhere from like this back alley warehouse to this. I remember going to this like deli restaurant in the middle of Japan Street, and somebody was on their DJ deck behind the bar where they would like prepare your food and everything. And their IRL stream was like above a fridge in the corner. And it was a small shop just packed full of people. It's such a cool thing to go see what people create here on VR chat just for DJing and raving. And I use these places as an escape from from everybody. I don't even invite my friends because I just want to have a space for myself to be completely unplugged from everything. Nobody knows who I am. Nobody cares who I am We're all there just to enjoy music and party the night away. I do use techno music in my day-to-day. I use it to get myself in the mood for work. I'll put my headphones in and I'll put like some hard-hitting techno music and I will just work my butt off. Or I will listen to like some dub techno or something, which is really relaxed and like echoey and like spacious, and it helps me like zone out. It gets me into almost like a trance state, and I just kind of float away a little bit, and it helps me get through my day. It really does. Anytime I'm feeling stressed, I put it on and it immediately starts melting the stress away. I'll be partying while I'm like doing my work and stuff. Like, it's such a huge outlet for me. So going to these raves, I started developing an interest in actually making my own music. I had actually been exposed to making music in the past. I used to play a little bit of guitar, wasn't very good at it. I used to play around on any pianos or even guitars at church and just mess around with them. I always had an interest and a talent in making music or playing music, but never really got into it that much. Mostly because I didn't have the proper tools and the proper avenues to be able to express that part of myself. And it was never really like a huge interest, but it was an interest. But because I was going to these raves, I ended up actually getting myself my first MIDI controller, which is basically a keyboard that doesn't make sound on its own. What you do is that you plug it into a computer. At the time I had an iPad. I hooked it into the iPad and used GarageBand of all things. And you have access to hundreds of different instruments in there, including techno instruments. And I actually started making my own music on there. And I realized that I do have a lot of talent. However, I knew my music wasn't that good. I was still a beginner and I had a lot of skill to build. There's a difference between talent and skill. Talent is something that you have innately. Skill is what comes in place of talent when talent reaches its limits, like a knowledge gap. Like, okay, you got to build a skill in this thing. You got to learn about this thing. You got to learn how to arrange songs. You got to learn chords on a piano. You got to learn timing, pacing. You got to learn how to make your own instruments on a synthesizer, like the whole shebang. And eventually I did actually upgrade from an iPad to a computer, and I got a DAW called Cakewalk. A DAW is a digital audio workspace which allows you to do a whole bunch of different things with your MIDI controller. So I started making my own music. I usually make the kind of music that's like really hard hitting, that's like, it gets you really hyped up. I ended up actually performing my first rave in front of friends. I do look at the music now and I'm like, yeah, I should probably remake that music. It wasn't very good. It wasn't very high quality. I didn't care. I just wanted to put something out there that was mine and original, and I just wanted to do it because I wanted the experience. This whole thing with techno music has just been a huge experience for me, both on the daily and also going to raves, and also an outlet for me to make my own stuff. And it's also, whenever I make my own music, it's like a huge release for like my emotions. Because I don't just make techno tracks. I do play around with like pianos a lot. I love the sound of a piano. It's just this old classic sounds. You put a little bit of delay in there, you put a little bit of reverb in there, and you got something that just sounds beautiful. It's like I use a piano a lot for like making songs. Like a bassline instrument, like almost like a stock instrument that you use just to get the overall feel for a song and figure out chords and figure out the pacing of a song and all that kind of stuff. But also, it's just a good instrument on its own. But anyway, I'll get so into making music that I'll be like rocking in my chair, like doing the whole keyboardist thing, like just duh, 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 just having a blast with it. And then also, not only just being able to enjoy the music is one thing, but also to create your own music and be able to like get yourself fully involved in the process of making music and not just experiencing it. It's very special to me in that way. It's not one of my biggest interests, because this is my biggest interest right here. But it is like a secondary interest that I do like doing in my own time whenever I feel like it. And same thing with going to raves. I love going to raves whenever I just need an escape from reality. I did that as early as yesterday from this recording. And just getting away from everything and all the judgments of the world and just escaping. And the lights, the sounds, the beats. It's such a beautiful thing. And it's the one place where I dance to music to my heart's content, and I don't care how weird I look. There's other people who are dancing around me, other people who are dancing badly around me, other people who have full body tracking and they're dancing and they're professionals at it. It doesn't matter. I escape. Making music also makes me feel more confident in myself because it's just like, yes, I made this thing. It may be bad, it may be cool, but I made this thing. It gives me such a confidence in myself, knowing that I'm able to do something that's kind of unique, and knowing that there's this unique community out there that does the same thing I do, and knowing that there's room for growth for me. It's inspiring for me, and I love being a part of it and being the spectator of it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It might be a little shorter than others, but whatever. I talk about stuff and things. So if you like that, don't forget to subscribe, and please leave a comment down below and tell me what kind of music that you're into. If you're into techno music, maybe some of the artists that you listen to, or even some of the subgenres that I may not know about. Maybe I want to hear some unique stuff that's out there. So tell me what you think down in the comments. But before I go, you know what's about to happen. You know what's about to happen. Nom. Bop. Bop, 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 bop. Goodbye. Goodbye.